Welcome to another Founder Wisdom podcast. We have Justin Bruckel with us today. Justin is a co-founder and co-CEO at CoAqua. Client of mine. Met the guy a couple of weeks or days ago with Tony, his co-founder. Great two co-founders, the two of them, and eager to do this actual interview with you, Justin, because your story's quite interesting. You told me about some hockey stuff. Told me about throwing yourself in CoAqua. So tell
Yeah,
me a bit more about yourself and what you're up to.
yeah, sure. Nice to meet everyone. Thanks, Charles, for having us on. But I can get into the background of the brand and how it came to be and got to the United States. So back in early 2020, I took a trip to New Zealand and Australia with a girlfriend of mine at the time who I ended up marrying. And now we have a baby, which is cool. That worked out. And in New Zealand, we discovered CoAqua. We loved it so much, we shipped it back here, and I had a whole surprise set up to surprise my wife or my girlfriend at the time. And a month after the trip got over with, she came up to visit me, and I had it staged in my refrigerator right around the corner here. And she came to visit me, and I had it staged, and she opens up the refrigerator, and there's a full case of CoAqua sitting there. And my business partner, Tony, best friend growing up, played hockey together. We've known each other since we're about 14, 15 years old. And, we're 35, 36 years old. So a pretty long time. And I slid a can across the counter and he cracked it open and he said, "Oh my goodness, this stuff is delicious." And I go, "Yeah, I know. I just had it shipped all the way around the country. All the way around the world." And he goes, "Let's do this." And I was like, "Let's do what?" So I know Tony for a long time, and I could tell his brain and, his eyes were squinting. I could tell something was, clicking up there. And he goes, "Let's find a way to distribute this stuff in the United States. We're going to do very well." So that's what we did. We started a company in July of 2020, CoAqua North America. At first, we did an exclusive distribution agreement, and then we ended up purchasing the whole company from the original founder, who was awesome, by the way. His name's Greer. He was the production manager of the Red Hot Chili Peppers, the band, for 17 years. So really cool, chill, eclectic guy. And we got the product onto the Sprouts Farmers Market shelves in April, May of 2022. And then we've just been building off that success, getting into the likes of Wegmans, Giant, ShopRite, distribution in Florida, on the West Coast. And, we just had a great category review season recently.
And your life before CoAqua, you told me that you played hockey and you left the home actually your parents' house
Yeah.
early in life. So what happened there? How did that shape you as an entrepreneur today?
Yeah. So I had some pretty decent skills as a younger hockey player. I figured that when I was 9 or 10 years old, that's what I really wanted to do and focus on. So an opportunity came up from a hockey camp up in north of Toronto, and one of the coaches there, asked me if I wanted to come play and live in Toronto for a school year. Actually, it was 2 years, and I decided at the age of 13 to pursue that. I left my house in upstate New York, moved to Toronto with a really nice family, an Irish family, and lived there for almost 2 years, and played in a league called the GTHL, Greater Toronto Hockey League, and for the Don Mills Flyers, if anyone knows what that is. And then I just focused on the game of hockey, and one of my goals was to play Division I. And that's what I did. So I made it to St. Lawrence University and played 4 years there. And Tony was also a hockey player as well. Him and I played in Syracuse for their junior program, 14, 15, 16 years old. And then he actually went to West Point and played as a goalie there. So hockey's been a really important part of my life, because I was focused on it for so long, and it taught me a lot of stuff, a lot of important lessons, a lot of team building stuff, and it's definitely shaped me into who I am today by leaving that early, being able to do my laundry at 13 years old and, get up early and be on time for things. And, we're taking the same mindset as a hockey player and a teammate into the business, into the CPG world. And I think it's done us very well.
And most athletes that had their dreams shattered, it's so hard to make it to the NHL. I had a couple of friends that made it there because I grew up in Montreal, right? So,
Yep.
what was the mindset when you knew you couldn't compete at that level, or at least be accepted in the national leagues? Were you like upset by that?
I don't know if I was upset. It would have been nice to make it to the NHL and maybe play for the Olympic team and win a gold, right? Yeah. So, no, I set myself to get to the Division I level, and that was good enough for me. And yeah, I could have played semi-pro somewhere after, but after focusing on hockey for 15 years straight, I was kind of ready to move on and, go into the business world. And, I come from an entrepreneurial family business background. It was an easier transition for me probably than most people, but, that's what I did. And I've been around business and family business since I was, obviously young age. And it's just part of me and part of, in my blood, essentially.
And coconut water, as a biohacker, did learn about some of the benefits, especially when it comes to hydration. For some reason, I never loved the taste, or got some kind of headache from drinking the
Yeah.
classic coconut water. I forgot the brand. I think it's Vita, that I drink, and yeah, it's just too strong for me for some
hmm
reasons. I guess you guys fixed that. I'm about to taste the product, and who knows when it will arrive here in Mexico. One, but two, what are the actual benefits of coconut water? Why are you so obsessed about it?
Yeah. So it's coconut water is a superfood, right? It's good for your nails. It's good for your hair. It's good for your skin. It's got as much potassium in one can as two bananas. So, being a hockey player and, focusing on my health and my body, coconut water is essential and was essential. That's what Tony and I used to do. We used to drink it, after practice, before practice, to stay hydrated. So, with our new flavors too, we have unique flavors, the lemony passion, the sour sop. We added the sour sop to the coconut water, which is really good for brain health and cognitive function. Yeah, we've got yuzu lime. That's a super popular ingredient right now. Yeah, that's kind of what the coconut water does for me. And it's just extremely healthy and extremely hydrating. Believe it or not, they used to put IVs into soldiers in World War II because it has the same plasma as blood. So yeah, it's really hydrating.
Interesting. Yeah, because as a biohacker myself and an ultra athlete, I always wonder why they give out Gatorades in the events. I think our body got used to Gatorade, even though it's quite chemical. And the excuse in my sport is that everything gets burnt, right? But the shit tends to stay, is what people forget, right? Like
Yeah.
all the toxic
Yeah.
ingredients. Why do you think that is? Why hasn't I don't know, Gatorade or Nestle? Why didn't they come up with like a better, healthier beverage? Is there still not enough demand in the market for healthy stuff?
I think the demand's there and it's growing, every year. Gatorade is, obviously a great brand, right? They've been around for a while, and I just say they're glorified sugar water, right? I used to drink it growing up,
Or
and
Powerade?
yeah, Powerade, Gatorade, but the coconut water sector, was really paved by Vita Coco and C2O in 2002, 2003, and they paved a great way for just coconut water brands in general. And after COVID got finished, the category has been growing double digits since. So from 24 to 25, it's up over 20%. I think it's 20.4% year over year. So people are becoming more aware of the benefits of coconut water, and we're here to hydrate people with it.
That just reminded me of Jesse Itzler, which is also an ultra athlete. Didn't he invest in like Zico water or something? What do you think about this one?
Yeah, he was one of the, I think maybe one of the founders, or I think he was an investor. Zico is great. They just came out with a new coconut water. I think they're Coconut Rising now. Zico Rising, sorry. They came out with a coconut similar varietal to ours. I think they get theirs from Thailand. We get our coconuts from Vietnam, and we use the young green, big coconuts, the 6 to 7 month old ones, and they tend to be a little bit sweeter. But that's what we're winning on, is the taste from that sweeter coconut in the process that we put it through. So yeah.
Doesn't that makes the drinks super expensive if you're sourcing these things from Vietnam and carrying all that water to the US? And how does
No,
that
it
affect
doesn't.
the final
Everything's
end price of the product?
Yeah, no, it doesn't. The margins are good. The people in Vietnam are great, and it's actually pretty decent harvesting and doing everything and packaging it over there in Vietnam and shipping it over. So
Have the tariffs affected your business?
slightly last year, but it's definitely looking up, and it'll be a better situation this year.
And as an insider, I mean, like my first business was a physical product, right? It was a supplement, Nootropic, the best nootropic in Canada 10 years ago. Um, I didn't have to import much, right? As a guy that's in the industry right now, like the tariffs, is it just mostly like politics, or do you actually see like ground repercussion? Because it does cause confusion. But my take and my understanding for talking with other product base business owners is that, yeah, theoretically things, technically things stay the same, right? It's just like the theory and the talking, but in reality, it doesn't affect them more or less. So you said it affected you last year or something. So my understanding is that tariffs haven't moved that much and have stayed stable since then.
Yeah, they have. Coconut water is a commodity, and I think it's on the list to not get the tariffs towards it. I think there's an exemption with coconut water, if I remember correctly. But yeah.
So your target market is health conscious slash affluent folks, right? That would drink this. They have money because I guess the price per unit is about what, $3 to $5 per can or something like that. So
Yeah,
um yeah, so it's how do you target these people? Is it like mostly getting into a supermarket, and what percentage of the business is retail vs online sales?
yeah, it's essentially 90% retail right now, 10% online. We're trying to grow that as fast as possible, but it is heavy, right? The product is very heavy, so it's hard to ship, within the United States to certain areas. But yeah, we believe that we're a premium product for an affordable price. So our can, 12-ounce can, is $2.99. We think that's a great price, and depending on the retailer, that can go up to $3.49 or $3.99, depending on C stores or bodegas and stuff like that. But we are having a lot of success in the C store channel right now. So we got permanent shelf space in Circle K, a couple divisions there, and we think C store is a big opportunity ahead. We've got some really great news to share here pretty soon. We just can't say it right now, but C stores are a big play for us.
And what's your secret to get into retail, right? Because I know it's hard to get into retail. My response to that nowadays, if I wouldn't have to do things differently, is like pure hustle, right? It's like trying to crack the chicken and the egg problem at the same time. And knowing both of you and Tony, you guys have that energy and ambition. You're relentless. Is that the secret, or do you have some fancier strategy or
No,
techniques?
no, we're pretty basic guys. You take two dumb hockey players and you put them together. You start drumming up some business, and I can't speak highly enough of Tony, my business partner, and his storytelling and representing the brand and how great the product is and the look it has and the rebrand, and it's really about just picking up the phone. That's kind of what it's all about for us. We just make a lot of calls. I got a funny story. I think Tony looked at his data, or his data was shut off in like October, November of last year because we made so many calls. I think we had 1,400 outbound calls. So we just make a lot of calls. We go to a lot of trade shows. We go, whether that's the BevNets of the world, the Beverage Forums of the world, the KE shows, distributor selling shows, Unify shows. We got a huge show next week at Expo West, and we just go there. We bring the energy. We tell them all the great updates, what we're working on, and we drum up a lot of business through those face-to-face meetings.
What about hockey and sports channel? Have you got like big success in those?
Yeah, we sell to a bunch of professional athlete locker rooms and stuff like that. So, yeah, CoAqua was in the Jacksonville Jaguars locker room. We're in the Minnesota Timberwolves locker room. We're in the Minnesota Wild locker room. And it seems like a lot of the sports professional athletes love our brand and love the liquid. So it's definitely Denver Broncos. We're in there. So. Yeah, it's a lot of the big arenas and stuff like that. They are a lot of controlled by Coke and Pepsi and Dr. Pepper and all those. So sometimes it's difficult to get in there, but we just kind of fill in the gaps around those arenas and whatnot, and eventually people start to take notice.
And yeah, tell me a bit more about like your role via Tony's in the business. For example, who took care of the branding, which is pretty on point? Who's in charge of sales?
Yeah.
Like, how do you guys complement one another?
Yeah, the branding aspect was a kind of a group effort. We knew we needed to change the branding. The previous brand was great. It worked. We got into Wegmans, we got into Sprouts, and we really wanted to establish ourselves as the black sheep of the coconut water category. So we spent 6-7 months. We hired a brand strategist. My wife's actually a graphic designer. That's why she pulled CoAqua off the shelf in New Zealand for the first time. It's because she liked the branding. But we really wanted to push the envelope on the packaging and make ourselves look not like a coconut water. It's almost like this looks like an energy drink, right? So that's kind of, we hired a brand strategist. His name is Brian Tice. He's been absolutely incredible. And then my wife with her expertise on colors and fonts and stuff like that. And then Tony is very creative in his own right. And he had a lot to do with the way it looks and, the packaging and stuff. So yeah, it was a group effort between, myself, my wife, Tony, and Brian Tice. His company's called Casa de Dope, if you want to look him up. And then, yeah, Tony and I, we do a lot of things together. We do a lot of the traveling. We do a lot of the sales calls, a lot of the distributor calls. And it's really just the 1-2 punch, we call it. So it's pretty fun.
And would you recommend, if I would start like a new product company, would you recommend buying one or starting one? Why did you guys made the conscious decision of buying and not starting from scratch?
I think at least in that sense, the relationships that Greer had in Southeast Asia for the coconut water already established. I think that was kind of a big reason we did purchase it instead of starting a brand. I do have a little experience in that. I did launch a 2-ounce liquid vitamin shot out of college with a buddy of mine, and we had some success with that. We just we got it onto the Wegmans shelves up next to 5 Hour Energy, and everyone just thought it was another energy shot, and it wasn't. We were selling health at that point. So I had some prior experience, which I brought over into this company. So that helped out a lot.
And what, well, let's take a 5 Hour Energy, right? Like, what have you noted from their successful playbook? What about Celsius and Liquid Death? Like, what kind of notes are you taking from these giants and their
Yeah.
playbooks?
Yeah, I think, at least with Celsius, it's, they believed in their product so much. They did a bunch of rebranding over the years, but, they basically just stayed in the game and they didn't die. And it worked out pretty well for them. So that's one of our, favorite sayings recently is just stay in the game. Whether we're talking about, hitting the phones, hitting retail category reviews, we make a lot of calls for investment. So, that's our favorite saying, stay in the game.
Right. What about Liquid Death or 5 Hour shots? Because 5 hours, it's pretty crazy how much they were in every convenience store and on the fucking counter, right? Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
that was crazy.
Yeah.
Still is.
That's where they had most of their success was a C-store. So that's why we're really excited about C-store across the country. I mean, there's, hundreds of thousands of C-stores, and we're having success in the Wegmans and the ShopRites of the world, but to get your brand out there more, we think C-stores is where it's at.
And what's next on the roadmap for you guys? Is it more branding, more flavors? Like, what innovative stuff are you up to?
Yeah, definitely have some new SKUs we'd like to launch. Can't say yet, but we have some more flavors with the 12-ounce SKU. It was a lot. Launching 6 new flavors at a time. We also have a 1.25 liter, so it's a lot with UPCs and cell sheets and new artwork and all that stuff. So we're going to take a little bit of a break here in 2026, but we're working on some stuff in the background going into 27.
And how do you test the quality of all these different flavors, right? Like, how do you make sure that the quality always stays consistent?
Yeah, we work with our manufacturer to do some of this, but Tony and I, we go over to Vietnam a few times a year to look at the coconut water farms, look at the coconut water factory, and it's just staying ahead of it and just being very communicative with the manufacturer, and they see trends as well, so we kind of listen to them, but we also know what's going on in the United States as well.
What have you learned from the Vietnamese culture?
They're great. They're all about the face-to-face. That's why we do spend some time on the airplanes to get over there and sit down with them. They're super nice. Obviously you need to communicate with them, and Tony does a great job at that. He's up at 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning talking to the Vietnamese about our brand and the product and the problems we're having and all the great stuff that we've got going on. So they're great people, and they have a really good pho over there, the soup. So
For sure. What's your daily routine as an athlete? Yeah, as a guy that takes care of his health. Like, what's your day-to-day look like?
it's kind of backfired on me as of recent. I have a torn labrum in my hip, so I haven't been able to go downstairs to the gym. But once I get that fixed, that'll be a big thing for me. But it's really just I just had a baby about 5 months ago, so that's been taking up a lot of my time. But daily routine, obviously we got scheduled calls throughout the week. A lot of the travel is pretty heavy right now. But just getting up, getting that workout in, that helps a lot, and blow off some steam, and then just get on the phones, get on the scheduled calls, and just ride it out until 6, 7 o'clock at night, and it's a lot of fun, and I think it's I wouldn't say it's easy, but having that hockey mindset definitely helps to help progress the business.
Last but not least, what have you learned as a new dad?
Oh, that's a good question. I think maybe you're the first person to ask me that. Be patient, both with the baby and the wife, but patience. Don't try to blow up or do anything that you would regret or say. So yeah, I think just be patient. That's kind of where I'm at now.
And what's your tips for patience? Is it like infinite patience? You don't allow yourself to blow up and you're always an emotional stabilizer and you can take a lot without exploding? Like, what's your
Yeah,
mindset for
yeah,
that?
that's it. That's it. Yeah, just kind of let things settle in before having a conversation or having a talk. I think that's what it is. It's just kind of settling in, listening, see it from their point of view, the wife's point of view. But yeah, it's part of it.
Yeah, and the wife's point of view is like always being tired and like physically ravaged, So and
Yeah.
it's hard as men to understand that. But yeah, I'm getting into that in the next 2 weeks. My strategy, we're gonna have a nanny help us as well, so
Oh,
that's
great.
gonna be very much of
Okay.
good help. But yeah, let's see,
Yeah.
dude. Thanks for making that interview. Very
You
insightful. Where
bet.
can
No, thanks
people
for having me.
find out more about you?
Say again. Where can they find it?
Yeah, CoAqua's website
Yeah,
and
drinkcoaqua.com. We've got the Instagram. We've got a lot of updates on LinkedIn. So I would go check us out on there. And yeah, it's been a great, 30 minutes or an hour? I don't even know, but it's been an hour. And
26 minutes.
yeah, thanks a lot, Charles. Really appreciate you having us
My
on.
pleasure. So that was Justin and Charles